Hello guys, today I'm going to set up my bullet journal for January. First, let me do a really fast flip through of my December entries. Last month I decided to combine my monthly with my cover page and it has worked out pretty well for me because I don't have that much to note down in my monthly calendar. My habit tracker and productivity tracker are about the same as my November entry, and I'm quite happy with the design, so I'll just stick with that. Next was my project progress page. I basically just note down whatever I need to do during the month. I changed the layout a little bit from week to week just for fun, but basically my weekly is just a to-do list. So that's everything from my December entries. I have already set up the yearly section for 2018 and today I'm going to set it up for January. I like to choose a different color theme for every month so my journal looks more playful. And for January, I have chosen pink and blue, and I think I'm going with a crystal theme for this month. Now, let's get started. First is to make the cover page. This time I used a pencil to draft it a little bit just to make sure the word is centered and the flourishing is balanced. Once I was happy with the draft, I used the pink brush pen blended with the blue to write the word January. It did take a little bit of time, but I guess the result really worth it. And since I only need to set it up every month, I don't really mind spending a bit extra time on the cover page. After I was finished with the lettering, I wanted it to stand out more, so I used a black pen to create an outline. And then I also went back in with a black brush pen to add a drop shadow to it. Same as last month, this time I'm also going to combine my monthly planner with the cover page, so I have all the dates laid out at the bottom half, and for whatever event I need to note down, I will just add it to the calendar. As I mentioned in the beginning, this month I wanted to go with a crystal theme, and I thought it would be much easier to paint them with ink rather than a brush pen. So here I'm just using 2 bottles of ink and a water brush to paint some really simple crystal shapes. As crystals come in all different kinds of shapes, I think. I didn't pay much attention to the shape. I was mainly focusing on the color, and as long as I used pink and blue, they kind of look nice together, I guess. So for any event I need to add to the monthly calendar, I just painted a little crystal on that date, and I'm going to write my appointment inside the crystal shape. So I filled up the rest of the page with random crystals just for decoration, and I filled in those events and appointments I already knew that was gonna happen this month. At last, I just used a white gel pen to add some highlights just to give it a little bit more details and make it a lot more completed, I guess. So that was my cover page, and for any future events and appointments I get, I will just add more crystals to the calendar bar. Next was my habit tracker. I'm not changing anything with my tracker this time, so I just did the title in the same color theme and a similar font. It's just a really basic tracker. I just list it out all the things I'd like to track, and I will be using the 2 theme color, pink and blue, to fill them in during the month. And the next page was my productivity tracker. And for this one, since the theme of the month is crystal, I'm just drawing some random crystal shapes. And for each day, I will fill in one of them with a different color that represents my productivity of that day. After a rough draft, I did the title Productivity Tracker in the same color and font. And then I just used a black pen to mark out all the dates and outline the crystal shapes as well. I guess not many people have a productivity tracker in their bullet journal, but it has really helped me because it's color coded. So at a glance, you can see on which days you have been more productive than the others. And I think it's really simple and easy, and I like to look at it at the end of the month and know on which days I could have done better. At the bottom, I just added the legends. I will either color it in with pink or blue or just leave it blank. And hopefully at the end of the month, I will have mostly pink crystals. The next page is still my project progress page. Again, I did the title in the same color and font, just so that all the pages will look more together. For this spread, I basically followed the same layout that I have been using for the past 2 months because that just works for me. I have my projects listed out and all the big steps I need to finish. Of course, they will be breakdown into smaller tasks that I will add to my weekly, but here is just an overview of what I hope to finish during the month. At the bottom left, I always have my time chart where I just fill in how I spent my typical day, and by comparing it from month to month, I can see how it's possible to improve my productivity. And this year, I moved my social tracker to my yearly section, so I'm not going to have it in my monthly setup anymore. So here I just have two little columns. One is my focus area, where I'm going to list all the things that I want to focus on during the month. And the other is my project ideas, where I'm going to note down any new ideas for my future projects. And then I was ready to start my first weekly for January. As usual, I added a little monthly calendar at the right bottom so I could have an overview of the month. This time I just used a black pen to write the days and then used my theme color pink and blue to add a little drop shadow to the boxes. My weekly has stayed more or less the same layout, but I like to change the design of the titles so they look a little different from week to week. And I think that's why people love bullet journal a lot, because you can customize it as much or as little as you want. I thought the page still looked a little bit empty, so I added a little box for each day just to make the page look more completed. And that was my setup for January. I really like the color combo, and I think once I used it, filled in the tracker and everything, it will look even better at the end of the month. If you like the crystal theme but don't want to paint the crystals yourself or do the brush lettering, you can purchase a printable sticker set from my Etsy shop. It's an instant downloadable file and you can print it to any size you want on any kind of paper. It includes the January title and all the decorative crystals, 2 sets of date stickers, 5 sets of weekly titles, plus some other hand-lettered titles and elements that you might find useful in your own journal. I will have the link in the description, so please check it out if you are interested. Thank you so much for watching, and please do let me know what kind of color or theme you like to see in my future bullet journal setup videos. And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Thank you. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.